Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Elisa Weber. You were just watching an NBC News special report, and we are now going to be continuing with Coast TV News Midday. Our top story this morning, divided over development, the future for this plot of land, sparking a lot of mixed opinions at a public hearing on Wednesday. Cool Spring Crossing is located north of Route 9 and off of Cool Spring Road. There have been pretty strong opinions both for and against this project. It's one of the largest development proposals in years with 637 acres of land. No decision was made Wednesday. The Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission decided to keep the record open for 10 days. And paramedics of the Sussex County Department of Public Safety will hold the first active shooter and stop the bleed training this evening. The training, which is free, is open to the public for anyone ages 16 and up. Sussex County EMS says it will be a combination of a presentation and learn hands-on skills. Some of those skills include how to do a tourniquet and how to perform CPR.
The national standard from the time that somebody contacts 911 until somebody's knocking on their door is 8 minutes. That is not realistic for us to be there. While we strive to achieve that on every call, it's not realistic. So again, furthering the education of the public and how they can buy us time until we get there with our equipment.
And the training will be held at the Sussex County Public Safety Complex in Georgetown from 6 to 9 p.m. Sussex County EMS says they're hoping to do the trainings at least every other month. And gun violence prevention is the focus at Delaware's state capitol today. Anti-gun advocacy groups will speak with lawmakers about ways legislation would further prevent shooting incidents. According to the groups, this is in partnership with Moms Demand Action and Students Demand Action. And we are now taking a live look outside at Dover this morning. And our first alert meteorologist, Bob Trahey, is going to join us. Bob, it looks like a clear, sunny day outside.
Yes, good morning, Elisa. It's another beauty for Delmarva. Lots of blue skies. We're looking at just a few clouds out there, but temperatures responding nicely. 75 in Seaford, Georgetown, Millsboro, Dagsboro, all at 74. So mid-70s inland, cooler at the beaches. Bethany Beach right now, 66, 64 in Rehoboth, Lewis at 65. There's a bit of a sea breeze developing there. That's why you're a little cooler, but inland winds are light and variable. We've seen some clouds this morning, so it's a mix of sun and clouds, but all in all, a beautiful day as we're looking at the visible satellite picture. We have a weak disturbance sliding through, then eventually a cold front, but not a lot of moisture with that front, so I think we're looking at a pretty dry afternoon, but there is moisture gathering to the west as rain chances increase tomorrow. But really not today. By noon into the mid-70s inland, even some upper 70s and 60s and 70s at the beaches. I think around 2 o'clock, 60s to around 70 in Rehoboth, 75 in Lewis. Maybe a spot sprinkle or shower, otherwise looking good into the afternoon. 70s to near 80 away from the beaches and 60s and 70s at the coast, and a good looking evening as well. So have the sunscreen handy this afternoon. Winds do turn to the southeast with temperatures into the 70s. A better rain chance heading into Friday, but improving weather for the weekend and looking great for mom on Mother's Day Sunday. Your full forecast a little bit later in the newscast.
Thank you, Bob. New overnight, a win for now for libraries, museums, and minority-owned businesses. Delaware Attorney General Kathy Jennings and Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown, along with 19 other attorney generals, were successful in temporarily keeping federal funding for these places. A Barack Obama-appointed federal judge in Rhode Island temporarily blocked the Trump administration from making cuts that could stop money from going towards these programs. The Trump administration claims it is cutting government funding for programs over issues of wasteful spending and corruption. In Maryland, be on alert if you receive any messages claiming you owe money for unpaid tolls. For the past couple of months, the Transportation Authority has reported phishing scams going around tricking people into paying fake toll debt. Officials say the state will never ask for payments through text, and if you do receive one, the Transportation Authority says to report those texts to the FBI. U.S. measles cases are at another grim milestone now, surpassing 1,000 cases. Almost all of those cases are in people who have not yet received a vaccine. As Amy Kiley shows us, officials say this could end up being the highest annual count in the U.S. since that disease was declared eliminated.
Get a measles vaccine.
New analysis shows the number of measles cases reported in the U.S. this year just surpassed 1,000. That's based on data from the CDC and state health departments. Many of the cases are related to an outbreak in West Texas, but most states have reported the disease.
The problem is when vaccination rates fall below 95% for measles or under 90% in public schools, you see big outbreaks.
This is likely to be the worst year for measles in the U.S. since its declared elimination in 2000. The only other that's close is 2019, when outbreaks around New York City pushed the total to 1,274 cases. This year's count is 1,002 as of yesterday, and it's only May.
If you're immune compromised or you haven't been vaccinated, you should probably think twice about going to areas where there's a lot of measles circulating.
Many experts think the actual number of cases is probably higher. They say early symptoms can resemble other illnesses, and most modern doctors haven't seen measles firsthand.
We were able to eradicate measles, and now they're back.
The CDC says 3 people have died of measles in the U.S. this year. The agency says before the MMR vaccine, the U.S. saw hundreds of measles deaths annually.
This virus can cause you to be hospitalized and die.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Coming up after the break, from the water to the road, the story of one man who is getting creative and getting around town.
Here on the coast, you see a lot of cars, motorcycles on the roads, and you see a lot of boats, jet skis, kayaks, what have you on the water. But what happens when you combine a jet ski and a motorcycle? In this week's Coastal Connections, we introduce you to somebody who has done just that.
This is Justin Bonneville, and this is Landu. That's the name he has given his motorcycle jet ski hybrid.
My passion would definitely be, anything on 2 wheels.
Bonneville is a Sussex County native and has owned a motorcycle for more than 20 years. He says the idea of adding the outside of a jet ski to one of his bikes came from seeing them elsewhere.
I'd seen them done in Florida, and I thought, that looks pretty cool. You know what I mean? And finally I said, I'm going to try to duplicate it.
Having owned bikes for years, Bonneville says knowing how the parts work and go together made the whole process that much easier. He tells CoastTV while the cost was low, labor was high.
Stripped all the plastic off the scooter, slimmed it down. Any extra weight I could slim off of it, I did. And then, once I had that bare frame scooter, then I knew the dimensions of the hole I needed to cut in the bottom of this jet ski to be able to, set it on top.
And finding the jet ski to use worked out just fine.
I actually bought the jet ski out of a buddy of mine's backyard with a blown motor for $100.
He says the best memories for him come from others' curiosity. And he says he never gets tired of all the questions.
It's been very positive, from, young to old. Everybody's at first, they're like, what is that? And then it finally kind of dawns on them like, hold on, what's going on? So it's been cool.
Despite being half jet ski, it cannot go in the water. Bonneville has a pretty quirky response, though, when people ask him.
I always tell people, yeah, straight to the bottom.
Bonneville shares one thing that made all the long work worth it: reactions from the young ones.
I was that kid. Who didn't, when they seen a biker going down the road, wanted them to rev the bike? I mean, that's typical kid stuff, you know what I mean?
And if you're lucky, you could end up seeing him on the road. Bonneville says you can catch him riding along the coast with his beloved Landu all summer. For this week's Coastal Connections in Sussex County, Brendan Conroy, CoastTV News.
Our beautiful stretch of weather continues for Delmarva, but it looks like our luck runs out today as rain chances increase tomorrow. Here's a beautiful shot of Salisbury on the Spicer Brothers cam right now. Good visibility, a little hazy, 76 degrees, and we'll be warming to close to 80 as we go into the afternoon with a mix of sun and clouds. A beautiful day on the way, on the mild side, pleasant with mid to upper 70s inland. At the beaches, a little cooler for you with 60s to low 70s. And then our weather sours a bit as we go into Friday, looking at showers, probably some thunderstorms as well. Don't think they'll reach severe levels, but heavy rain and vivid lightning certainly possible, and cooler conditions at that time. And you can see how rain chances do increase as we go into tonight. Scattered chances and then widespread rain as we go into Friday, and some storms as well. That continues into Friday evening, and then it dries out for the weekend. Saturday and Sunday look good, especially Sunday with Mother's Day looking great for mom on that day. Then another chance chance of rain later Monday into Tuesday and Wednesday. Temperatures now beautiful, 76 in Seaford, Bridgeville 74, Redden 76, Millsboro 74, but cooler at the coast, 66 in Bethany Beach, 64 in Rehoboth, as you'll rise a few more degrees, but we have an onshore flow there. Not a lot of strong wind, but definitely the wind coming off the cooler Atlantic Ocean, and then inland just variable winds, and we're warming up over land right now. As a visible satellite picture showing some clouds out there, some cumulus clouds, mid to high level clouds, but that's about it. From the northeast all the way into the mid-Atlantic, it's nice right now. We have a little trough swinging through with some clouds, and with a front nearby this afternoon, we could see a stray shower. Not really worried about that, but farther to the west, we are watching low pressure developing out here across the Midwest, and eventually that will shift to the east along with the front, and that will increase our rain chances moving into Friday. This afternoon, beautiful. Here's noon on Futurecast, mid to upper 70s away from the coast, but 60s at the beaches, and I think you'll be in the 60s to close to 70 in a lot of these locations. Around 75 in Lewis at 2 p.m. Maybe a stray shower across southern Sussex County by mid-afternoon, but it's not going to wash away your plans or really interfere with outdoor chores. We're looking at 70s to close to 80 by 4:30, but cooler at the coast, and a pretty pleasant evening on the way. Then we increase the clouds, and it looks like this model's bringing in that rain a little earlier, shortly before midnight. We could be seeing some showers tonight, maybe some rumbles of thunder too as we go into Friday morning. And Friday morning could be a little wet, so make sure you leave extra time to get to your destination. With temperatures in the 60s early on, we're mostly cloudy much of the day with showers again, and then a cold front swings through later in the afternoon into the evening with maybe some thunderstorms. Then we dry it out. As we go into Saturday, it will be breezy and much cooler as we go into your Saturday with highs into the 50s. A non-severe threat for severe weather across Delmarva tomorrow. Well, we definitely could see heavy rain and vivid lightning. And as far as the rain goes, about a quarter to about a half an inch of rain, maybe locally higher amounts as the system moves out. It's windy, it's breezy, and it's nice on Saturday. Maybe some clouds early Sunday, otherwise looking great for Mom as we go into Sunday, and that nice weather continuing into Monday. Upper 70s to around 80 in Seaford and Laurel today for the eastern shore. Lower 80s around Cambridge and Vienna, and lower 80s for Salisbury and Princess Anne, but a little cooler from Ocean City to Chincoteague. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, 78 today, then cooler Friday with the showers, 71, and then Saturday breezy and cooler, but nice, 73. Mother's Day, 78, and then mid-70s into next week. Dry Monday and Tuesday, a better chance of rain by Wednesday.
Thank you so much, Bob. And here's what you can expect today on Coast Life at 4.
We're getting closer and closer to the weekend, but first we hope you join us today at 4 for some Coast Life, because we're going to be chatting with the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition about their annual breast cancer update.
And in our Spill the Tea this week, you might give a little side eye to your coworker, Leah's looking at me right now, about do you actually want to spend time with these people outside of work?
Interesting tea to spill. And of course, we're going to be talking some conservation efforts with another annual Bay Day. All that fun and more is coming up today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
Plans to expand Delaware's Legislative Hall in Dover are officially off the table. Lawmakers voted to suspend the multi-million-dollar project because of a tightening state budget and federal funding cuts. The plan included new hearing rooms, office space, and a new tunnel for a parking garage. As of now, that parking garage plan is still on. And paving in Fenwick Island, originally set to start on May 5th, will now begin today. The town says the pushback is to ensure the roads are dry before starting. Streets scheduled for paving include South Schultz Road, McWilliams Street, Wright Street, and Bay Street. And coming up tonight on DSN at 4:15, the Cape High School softball team travels to Polytech. At 7:30, it's another episode of Into the Trenches. Then at 10:30, it's the final score. And on the DSN Plus app, in addition to that Cape softball game, you get these exclusives. At 4:15, more softball when Sussex Academy hosts Delmar. Lake Forest is at Laurel in baseball, and those same schools will meet also in softball. At 5:30, it's girls soccer as Indian River takes on Polytech. CoastTV will be right back. A plan aimed at alleviating traffic congestion in one part of Queen Anne's County will return this summer. The ramp management program that began last summer keeps westbound drivers on the Bay Bridge on Route 50 instead of taking exits as shortcuts. If they do, they're redirected back to the Castle Marina Road. A study from last summer found weekend travel time decreased from 52 minutes in 2023 to 43 minutes in 2024. But some locals still have mixed opinions on how well it really worked.
I think it went very well. I noticed a significant decrease in the traffic around here. There was still a lot of buildup, people coming on from exits before they got closed, but it was significantly better.
But double back and getting into traffic and waiting to go, I just think it's terrible for people that live here.
This program will begin May 18th and continue until Labor Day, and it will be from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Friday through Sunday and on holidays.
We're seeing lots of sunshine on the camera in Laurel. Tyndall's casual furniture camera, 75, heading to near 80 degrees this afternoon. But we do have changes on the way. We're looking at showers on Friday with some storms possible too. Then improving weather for the weekend, looking good for Mother's Day. Congratulations to Kevin Dagg from Lewis on winning a brand new umbrella, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling and CoastTV. I'll have your 10-day forecast coming up next. A beautiful Thursday afternoon on the way for Delmarva. If you're cutting the grass, heading to the beach, well, make sure you have the sunscreen. That sun's getting strong, and temperatures near 80 inland with the southeast breeze. A little cooler at the coast with temperatures into the 60s and 70s. Call the CoastTV First Alert weather phone, another way to get your forecast. Sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalas, Federico. Your Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Showers arrive on Friday. In fact, probably tonight. A high of 71 tomorrow with some rumbles of thunder, and then improving weather for the weekend. 73 breezy on Saturday. Mother's Day looking great with upper 70s, a mix of sun and clouds. Mild into next week with rain Wednesday into Thursday. Then after that, temperatures into the 80s.
Thanks so much, Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Midday. And for more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Don't forget to join us for Coast TV News at 5 later this afternoon. Have a great day.